So if you don't fancy a Golf R, maybe they're a bit too common for you, there's this. It's the Volkswagen T Roc R. It's a new model to the range. It uses largely the same powertrain. You pretty much get the same performance from it, but what we're going to do today is give you a very quick look around what the difference is between this T Roc R and a regular Volkswagen Golf R. So here we go. Being the R model, it does get a couple of different styling features that set it apart from any of the other models in the T Roc range. Now this one, as you can see, it's finished in Lapis blue, and it does get very different front bumper treatment. So I get these quite nifty looking LED daytime running lights on the side. Obviously there's more cooling needed for that engine, so you get extra intakes on either side as well as on the center. And you know, all that gloss black, it does actually work quite well. It's a nice contrast. You get an R badging on the side of the grille there as well, and other features. Obviously you get larger wheels, and you get the silver door mirror caps and R badging along the side. Now the standard wheels on this are the 18-inch Spielbergs, but this car has actually been upgraded to the 19-inch Pretorias, which I have to say, with this dark finish, looks really good. And obviously there's also R badging on the calipers. Around the rear, it gets some similar treatments so as the Golf R. So you have the quad exhausts, two on either side, and this model also features the darkened LED rear lights. As you can see with the rear bumper, it's a little bit different as well, with these vents to add this sense of a bit more width to the car. And you get some gloss black diffuser, and you can probably just about see there, it's a little bit dirty today, but you can see some of the diffuser details on the rear of the car. Now obviously, being a T Roc, probably one of the appealing features is the fact that it has a larger boot than a Golf, and it is actually pretty generously sized. It's not too high, so getting heavier items in and out is pretty easy. And you do have some underfloor storage. Now this one doesn't have the spare wheel on it, but if you wanted to throw some extra stuff in there, you could. As you can see, it gets an inflation kit rather than a spare, and that's where the gunk goes. One nifty feature, if you do have to leave things in here, is that you get these little latches on the side. So this it's quite a hard floor, and you can pop it up, and it will actually, as you can see, it will, a bit nifty to do, but you can slot it in there and keep those up. So that's kind of handy if you did need to get anything out of the floor. I've just taken out the parcel shelf just to give you a little bit of an easier view of what it's like. The rear seats have a 60-40 split, and you can quite easily lower these down from the rear. So you just have these quick releases here, which you can pop down, and then on the other side it also goes down. And quite convenient is that you can see you pretty much have a flat floor, which does make it a little bit easier if you're going to be sliding bigger items in. So that's what the whole boot looks like with everything down. Now when it comes to rear passenger space, it's not that bad actually. You do get probably the biggest thing you notice is that you get a bit more headroom, and as you can see, this version is also equipped with the panoramic glass roof. But yeah, it's not too bad. You do still have a bit of a chunky center transmission tunnel in there, so obviously because it's an all-wheel drive system, so it's not great if you're going to be sitting in the middle. And it also doesn't help the fact that you have a little bit of a raised surface in the middle, so not ideal. You do have an armrest, pops down, and there's also a ski hatch if you are a skier. There's two Isofix points in the outer section, as you can see, of the rear. So the two outer seats will take Isofix, and you have a 12-volt socket down the bottom and two vents in the rear. Not a huge amount of space. The seat there is set up for my driving style. I am about 5'9". I do tend to sit a little bit closer to the steering wheel, so That gives you a bit of an idea. It's not massively roomy inside. 2 adults are certainly going to be comfortable, but really 3 is going to be a push. Now you do also have very small door bins in there. You'll just about get a sort of regular soft drinks bottle size, like a small bottle in there. That's about it though. And you do have a electric window switch in the rear. One other quite nice touch, which you can just about see here, is that the Volkswagen logo is actually raised lettering on the window frame, and it's on the other side as well. It's a feature that also appears on the new Volkswagen Golf, and it's a small touch, but it's one of those touches that it's quite nice. I think owners will appreciate. On the interior, it's got a couple of nice features. There are some sports seats up front. They've got quite a nice mix. It's like a leather material on the outside, and then this soft grey Alcantara like material on the inside, and obviously you get the R badging on the 2 front seats there as well. Now they are quite thickly bolstered, do a good job of holding in the corners, but they're not too uncomfortable even on a longer journey. And now I'll show you through the rest of the cabin. So you get a flat bottom steering wheel. There's some R badging on the bottom of the wheel, and obviously this version is a DSG transmission, so you get the 7-speed DSG. I'll show you through a couple of the different modes now in a moment, but some of the other details, you get the metal pedals, and there's also some R designated kick plates on the side. So you get a push button start, and it's this version has the digital display, so you get a configurable display, which I'll show you through now. You have a couple of different views. So this is the standard mode that you have. You have your rev counter and your speedo, but you can then go through and change this to display various different things depending on what your preference is. So it will always show you what gear you're in, and what your speed is, but it'll also show you, for example, your range remaining. So this has 150 kilometers left, and separate to that you always have your fuel gauge on the right and your temperature gauge on the left. So it's quite nice that you can configure that as well. This version also has the larger infotainment system, so again it's quite nice. You can connect it with your Apple CarPlay or your Android Auto, and this is the radio setting. As you can see, when you put your hand up to it, it detects that and prompts, or doesn't prompt, but it shows you a couple of different options that you might want. So you have your you can scroll through your different settings here. It's actually quite a good screen. It reacts quickly. You've got a nav version here as well, so you've got all your built-in nav. You can also obviously use your Google Maps through your Apple CarPlay if you want. Now you've got a volume control there. You do also have multifunction control on the steering wheel, so you've got your volume here. This is for the cruise control. There's also a speed limiter function, and this is it can set the distance for how far you want the vehicle in front to be. A couple of other features, you've got quite a good bit of storage here for just dropping in your phone or your wallet or anything like that. It's kind of handy. There is, as you can see, 2 USB ports here. They're regular USB, so this version hasn't gone to USB-C yet, and you get pretty much standard Volkswagen fare for the climate controls, although this version, as you can see, doesn't have heated seats, which in a car costing 58,000 euros in Ireland is a bit of an omission in my opinion. Now you do have some useful storage area here. There's another small storage bin underneath the seat, and then you have your different drive modes here. So you've got road, off-road, you've got winter conditions, but you've also got the different modes. So when you toggle this through, it will go through race, individual, eco and normal. And what that will do is, if you're just driving normally, for example, eco, it will drive, when you lift off the throttle, it will basically freewheel, so it will engage basically like a neutral. Normal is just your everyday use. When you go to race, then just obviously dials everything up, and it will, if you're in drive, it will flick the transmission to sport mode. So there you go, that's a quick look around the Volkswagen T Roc R. We'd love to know what you think about it. Do you think it's a worthy alternative to the Volkswagen Golf R, or would you just stick with a Golf 4 estate if you need more room? We'd love to know what you think, so get involved in the comments below. And obviously, if you need to know any more, head over to CompleteCar.ie. We'd love if you could give this video a thumbs up if you found it useful, and please do subscribe to the YouTube channel if you can. Thanks.